everyone from the Conscious Movement community. This is your 1 hour video. So I got a great request from someone that they wanted to work on hips and hamstrings. And I was like, well, we already do that in every single yoga video. So stop bothering me. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, okay, great. We can do some hips and hamstrings things. The best hips and hamstrings things that I like are for sure the standing poses to help you warm up. But then some of the seated poses, to me, are the best way to get into deep opening for your hips and hamstrings connected into your spine. So we're going to do some of those. And then also, I want us to get into some of the binding postures, because I feel like those are really important for opening up the shoulders, connecting into the hips. And one super kind of interesting connection that you're going to start to feel in your body is as you open up your hips, you'll feel your shoulders start to mobilize. And as you start to mobilize your shoulders better, you'll start to feel your hips mobilize, which is weird. But as I learned about fascia, before I learned about fascia, I was like, this is just magic. I'm not sure why this is working. And then I learned about fascia and I was like, oh, there's big connections of your fascia from your hips this way and this way. So that's why that makes sense. Let's get started in Supta Baddha Konasana. So make sure you have a couple of blocks. Lie down onto your back. And open up the soles of your feet, open up your knees, soles of your feet together. Take your arms out to the side. Stretch the arms out like goalpost arms, and then let the arms start to fall back towards the floor. So just take this opportunity to go into your body and start to feel the rhythm of your breath. Notice the places where the body feels tight. Feel the sensation and the stretch. Let the sensation take you inward. Whatever's going on before or after our time together, just let that be and be in your body, be in your breath. Bring the knees together and we'll do traditional start to warm up. Let the knees swivel over to the right as you look over to your left. Come back to center, knees over to the left as you look to your right. Come back to center, change sides. And change sides. Then bring your knees back up. Come back into Baddha Konasana, interlock your fingers with your thumbs pointing back, and as you inhale, slowly let the arms start to reach back without your rib cage tipping up. Engage your core by keeping the ribs aimed down to the hips. But don't tuck your pelvis. Bring your arms back up. Change the interlock, and inhale, slowly let the arms reach back. Bring the arms back up. And slowly take the arms back. And back up. Bring your knees together and hug your right knee into your chest as you stretch your left leg out along the floor. Change sides. Then set the feet down, roll over to your side, and press up onto your hands and your knees. Place your hands right underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and come into cat-cow. Round your back and look back at your navel. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale to round. Inhale to arch. Then come into neutral. Stretch your right leg back behind you. Now plug into your core by lifting up in your middle as you send your left arm forward. Lower the hand and the knee. Change sides. Lower the hand and the knee. Change sides. Now lift the back leg up an inch. Keep your tail long. And as you exhale, open the leg and the arm to the side. But make sure that your thigh doesn't turn out at all. Keep the big toe pointed straight down towards the floor, the pinky toe pointed down to the floor. Inhale back to center. Exhale, open back up. Inhale back to center. Lower your hand and your knee. Change sides. Back leg comes up an inch. Exhale, open out to the side. Turn the pinky toe down. Inhale to center. Exhale, open up to the side. Don't let yourself twist. Don't let the hips wiggle. Back to center. One more time. And back to center. Lower the hand and the knee. And stretch back into your first down dog.
Can we follow this? Alright, you're good.
Okay. Then walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Put a little bend in your knees and let your head drop. Then slowly roll yourself up to stand. So one thing that I've noticed is that a lot of yoga practitioners, we develop a lot of strength in this part of our body from doing so much chaturanga, but not so much strength like in the backs of the shoulders and the external rotators. So we're going to do some movements for the shoulders to help to strengthen them in different directions, to mobilize them. This will help with all the binding postures that I'm going to have us work on. Okay, so first, as you stand here, curl your fingers in and point your thumbs forward. And then as you inhale, spread your arms out to the side. And then slowly lower your arms back down. Again, spread the arms out to the side. And then lower back down. Then spread your arms out to the side. Turn the thumbs down and make little circles with your arms. And then turn your thumbs to point back and make little circles with your arms. This might remind you of when you used to do PE in 6th grade and you'd have to do these little arm circles, things like this. This is where I got this from. Just kidding. Okay, then bring your knuckles to your temples with the thumbs pointing down. And as you exhale, draw your elbows in. Inhale, open up. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, open up. Now let's change the breath pattern. Exhale, hold here. And then inhale, open in between your shoulder blades. Breathe into that space. Exhale, open back up. Inhale in between the blades, back upper ribs. Exhale, open up. Then take your arms out to the side. We'll do that little curly finger thing again. Rotate the arms so they point forward. Stretch the arms forward. Then bend the elbows out to the side. Externally rotate. Raise the arms all the way up. Bend out to the side again. Internally rotate. Stretch the arms forward. 2 more. Bend out to the side. Rotate externally. Take your arms all the way up. Bend out to the side. Rotate internally. Stretch your arms forward. Turn the thumbs up and raise the arms all the way up. until you have like the mobility to do all of these little arm situations that we did, then the chaturanga with the knees down, that's the one to be doing. Fold forward. Once you get the mobility though, you can start to practice with legs straight. Inhale into flat back. Step back into plank pose. Open your chest here. Then pull your right knee up to your chest. Pull up around your back. Inhale, reach back. Pull your left knee up and around your back. Inhale, reach back. Change sides. Change sides. Lower down all the way onto your belly. Stretch your arms forward. Press the tops of the feet down as you straighten your legs. Then bend the elbows out to the side and lift the arms up into cactus position. Feel the backs of the shoulders getting strong. Spread the elbows away from each other. Then take both arms straight back as you open your heart and reach your heart forward. Bring your hands underneath your side ribs. Roll into low cobra. Roll your heart back down. Lift up onto hands and knees without the shoulders turning inward. And stretch back into down dog. Walk your feet up to the front of your mat. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up like a reverse swan dive. Externally rotate the arms and raise the arms all the way. And exhale, swan dive out. Inhale into a flat back. Plant your hands and step back. Pull your right knee up and round out. Inhale, reach back. Left knee up. Inhale, reach back. Right knee up. Inhale, back. Left. Reach back and lower down. Slide your arms forward, reach back through your big toes. Then bend the elbows to the side and lift the hands up. So this is like working all the opposite muscles that we normally work in chaturanga. Then stretch the arms straight back, reach your heart forward. It's important to have a balance in our yoga practice so that we're not constantly doing the same flows. Bring your hands next to your side ribs and start to reach the heart forward as the tail lengthens out of the lower back. Then, without the shoulders sinking inward, lift your navel up, press up on the hands and knees, and then lower slowly back down, but make sure that the chest stays open. Come back up, and then slowly lower, collarbones broad, navel in. Come back up, and stretch back into down dog. So I really recommend strengthening in those chaturanga push-ups with the knees down before you start to attempt the legs straight. Because it's better to do it with the chest open and the knees down than to be rounding the shoulders and like doing a bunch with your legs straight. Walk your feet forward. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank. Now let's turn on our twisters. Bring your left knee up towards your right armpit. Inhale, back. Right knee up into the left armpit. Inhale, back. Left knee to right. Inhale back. Right knee up to the left. Inhale it back. Lower down on your belly. Reach your arms forward. Then bend the elbows out to the side. Lift the hands up to shoulder height. External rotators turn on. Spread the elbows away from each other. Now lift your legs up just an inch. Turn on the leg muscles. Reach the big toes back. Stretch both arms straight back behind you. Then bring the hands to your side, and without the chest rolling in at all, without the shoulders rolling in at all, lift up on the hands and knees, and then slowly lower yourself back down. Lift back up. Slowly lower to elbow height. Lift back up. Slowly lower to elbow height. Don't let the chest collapse. Keep the chest broad. Lift back up. And stretch back into down dog. Once you can do like 5 to 10 of those, no problem, without the head dipping down, then I recommend starting to practice the full deal. Raise your right leg up from the inner thigh. Shift into plank and pull your knee up to your chest. Step your foot all the way up by your right thumb. Lower your back knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, bend your elbows out to the side. Inhale your arms back up. Bring your hands down. Curl the back toes under. Lift the back knee. Grow the spine long, and then as you engage your bandhas, stretch your arms back behind you, rotate your shoulders. Set your left hand down and twist. Bring your right hand down and step back into down dog. Raise your left leg up from the inner thigh. Grow your lower back and tail long to your heel. Then shift into plank, pull your knee up. Step your foot all the way up to your left thumb. Lower your back knee down. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, bend the elbows out to the side. Inhale, back up. Bring your hands down. Curl the back toes, lift the back knee. Lift through the pelvic floor up to the crown of your head. And float the arms back behind you as the navel draws up the front of your spine. Then set your right hand down. Twist, raise your left arm. Bring your hand down. And step into down dog. Look in between your hands. Step walker, hop up to the front of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale into chair pose. Bend your knees, sit your hips back. Lift your navel and raise your arms. Stand and release your arms at your side. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step back into plank. Knees down, chest open. Lower to chaturanga. Inhale into up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Step your right foot all the way up by your right thumb. Set up your back heel for warrior one. Lift from your navel and come up. Bring your hands down. Step back to down dog. Step your left foot up by your left thumb. Set up your back heel. Inhale, come up into warrior one. Bring your hands back down. Step back to down dog or out of vinyasa. Look in between your hands, step, walk, or hop up to the top. Inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, bend your knees and sit back. Stand and release your arms at your side. Vrikshasana, tree pose. Bring your right heel up onto the inside of your left thigh. Then join your palms together. Once you're steady, raise your arms up. Then adding on, we'll stretch the triceps a bit. Bend the elbows, hands behind your head. Open up through the armpit, chest, and triceps without pushing your ribs forward. Take your arms back up. Lower the arms and the leg. Change sides. Bring your right heel up onto the inside of your left thigh. Palms together. Then take the arms up. Hands behind the head, but middle in as you turn the triceps forward. Outer shoulders forward. Good. Take your arms back up. Lower down and lower your leg down. Now set up your blocks if they've been helping you in your standing poses. Take your legs wide apart and spread your arms out to the side. Turn your left leg in slightly as you turn your right leg out 90 degrees. Then as you press into your left outer heel, start to bend your right knee. Now just like at the beginning of class, stay in your body and reconnect to your breath. Then tip from your pelvis out over your right leg. Place your hand down onto the outside of your foot and stretch your left arm all the way over your ear. Inhale, come back up into warrior two. Straighten your right leg. And turn the right thigh out so the knee points straight out over the second toe. Tip from your pelvis out over your leg and place your hand down. Press through your feet and come back up. Parallel your feet, grow your arms as your middle plugs back in. Turn the right leg in slightly, turn your left leg all the way out. Ground your right outer heel as you slowly start to lengthen through the left inner leg. Keep a little bit of bandha action. Try not to let your middle harden forward. Instead, soften your middle back towards your spine. And then see if the left inner leg can stretch a little deeper. Then tip from your pelvis out over your leg and place your hand down. Stretch your right arm all the way over your ear. Inhale, come back up. And straighten your left leg, reach out over your left leg. I like to do a little micro bend through the transition and then straighten all the way, but it's up to you. Then inhale, come back up. Turn your left toes in so your feet are parallel, and join your legs together for a moment. So these standing poses sequence help to make your whole body strong. When you're connected to your core and your legs, your whole body is getting exercise from these standing poses. It's really important to open up the body in these basic standing poses before you start trying all the fancy stuff in yoga. Let's do a few more. Take your legs wide apart. Then hands on your hips, open up your chest and inhale. Exhale, fold forward in between your legs. Set your fingers down and inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, start to walk the hands back and let your head drop. Then turn the fingers around and start to walk the hands back. Inhale into a flat back. Bring your hands to your hips and come back up. For this next one, I recommend like a strap or a towel behind your back. Take your hands shoulder distance apart, strap or towel, or if you're super open in your shoulders, you could interlock the hands. But I really want to see this rotation of the shoulder. Roll the inner shoulder towards the outer shoulder. Keep your middle in though, and then start to tip from your pelvis. Last one, release the strap, hook your big toes and inhale, make a flat back. Exhale, bend your elbows out to the side and let your head drop. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips, reach through your feet, and with a strong back, navel up, come all the way up. Turn your left foot out and step forward. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. Step your right foot all the way up by your right thumb. Lower your back knee. Right hand to your right knee. Draw, scoot from the navel up and raise your left arm up. Then hook your elbow to your knee. Join your palms together. Hold here, or adding on, you could curl your back toes under and lift the back knee up. Bring the hands back down, step back to down dog, or take a vinyasa. Step your left foot up, lower your knee. And inhale, raise your right arm. Exhale, twist, hook your elbow to your knee. And join the palms. Hold there or curl the back toes and lift the back knee up. Bring your hands back down, step back to down dog, or take a vinyasa. Walk your feet forward. And bring your feet all the way together. Then lift your heels up off the mat. Lower your buttocks to your heels. Take the knees wide enough for the ribs to fit in between. Then, as your belly draws back, start to stretch your arms forward. Malasana. Then from here, internally rotate your right arm and see if you can wrap it all the way around your leg to the back of your heel. And then same thing with your left. Internally rotate the left. Wrap it all the way around the leg. Watch out for the block. And then see if you can hook your fingers. So your muscles health, I'm sure that I'll say this, if I haven't said it already a bunch of times, it comes from the ability to be able to engage all the way and to stretch all the way. So we're making the shoulders healthier, stretching, strengthening. Then release that and stretch your arms forward again, but then bend the elbows and hook your triceps back into your shins with your thumbs pointed, palms turned up like this. Then scoop from the lower belly up the front of the spine and feel your pelvic floor lift up on your exhalation, your shoulder blades on your back. Then from there, see if you could start to lean into your arms. And without the shoulders sneaking up into the ears, strong back muscles, maybe lift your feet up off the floor. Then set your feet back down and fold forward. Roll yourself up to stand. Then bring your knuckles together behind your back and open your chest. Step your left foot back about 3.5 feet. Ground your left outer heel as you inhale, open. Exhale, fold forward over your right leg. Keep that back outer heel anchored as you're stretching out. And then stretch the hips up and back away from the right foot as you bring your head towards your ankle. Press through your feet and inhale, come back up. Right hand on your hip, raise your left arm straight up. Reach and twist. Spin your rib cage and take your right arm up. Now it's most important to me that you have a neutral spine, a totally flat back. If you have to put something underneath your hand, a block, a tall block, a chair, whatever you have to do to get a long spine, that's what's important. Find the length first in your twist. Then press through your feet and like a windmill, come up and around, spin for the other side, bring your knuckles together behind your back again, ground the back outer heel, and lengthen out over your left leg. Come back up. Left hand on your hip, raise your right arm. And reach and twist. So these two poses, these are really what's going to start to open you up to get deeper in your seated pose practice for all your hip and hamstring openers. These standing poses, these need to be perfected and worked on regularly. Reach into your feet, come up and around, step your back leg forward. Fancy footwork there. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Step back into down dog or take a vinyasa. Set your left knee down and bring your left hand right underneath your shoulder. Open up into side plank. Hold there, or keeping the chest open, slide your left leg back behind your right. Slowly with control, come back down. Change sides, right hand right underneath your shoulder. Spread the chest, but keep your middle plugged in. Long Tadasana line from your back ankle out through your spine. Hold there or stretch the right leg out behind the left. Slowly lower back down. Then cross your legs behind you. Sit into Dandasana. Hands next to your hips. Roll the shoulders up and back. Feel the blades plug onto the back. Sit as tall as you can over your sit bones. Open the soles of the feet. Grow the legs, but grow the spine taller without pushing your middle out. Then from here, lean your torso back halfway. Slide your heels towards you from the grip of your belly and lift your feet up. Then take your arms forward. Scoop the skin of the belly up the front of the spine. Lower your heels down and lower with control onto your back. Bring your fingers behind your head, ears, and open up the elbows. Bring one leg into table. Keep the tail down, but ribs in. Other leg into table. Then slowly stretch your right leg forward and lower it slowly halfway. Pull the spine long, tip the ribs in. Change sides. Don't let the pelvis tuck. Keep your neutral pelvis. Change sides without any wiggling. Grow the spine. Just as important to elongate the spine as it is to engage your upper abs. And keep going side to side with the legs. Pretend like your legs are in the mud and you're like really having to push slowly instead of just swinging. The slower, more controlled you go, the more muscles you use. This is kind of hard, geez. Good, then hold your legs in a table position, open your arms to the side, and we'll let the knees fall over to the side a little. Back to center, over to the other side a little. Try not to let the opposite shoulder lift as you go side to side with your knees. Then last part, fingers behind your ears, curl back up to your knees. Now really curl up, send your left leg forward, and right leg out to meet it. Curl up 1 more inch, lower the legs 2 inches, tuck the low abs. Then bend your knees. Are you ready?
Yeah, it's going.
Oh. All right. Then bring your hands to the backs of your legs, engage your core, and let's practice rolling back and forth a couple of times. Roll up to your sit bones, roll back, and up, as long as it feels okay on your spine. All right, then cross your legs and stretch back into your down dog. And then from down dog, set your knees down. And let's practice strengthening the shoulders now. So we did a lot to kind of like mobilize and open up the shoulders. Let's do a little strengthener that's going to be really important for your headstands, handstands, etc. So really commonly when we go to put weight into the arms, the shoulders tend to roll inward. I see it on everybody. The chest closes. So I take a block in between the elbows and one in between the hands. The first action is instead of hunching my back, I'm going to open up my chest. And then I want you to roll the skin of your outer shoulder back towards your hip like that. Collarbones broad, outer shoulder rolling back. And then ribs tip in. All right, so this is one of the things, like sometimes in our conscious movement videos, I'm going to have you do more advanced poses, but sometimes I'm going to have you do really basic stuff and ask you to look at a new eye with the pose. And that's one of the things that I learned from taking workshops with my Iyengar yoga teachers is often we do like really basic stuff and we do these new actions and the pose would feel, the advanced pose would feel completely different. So this is what we're working on today, a little bit of shoulder and hip stuff. So as you roll the outer shoulders back, curl your toes under, lift your middle, and then see if you could just lift your knees up an inch, still maintaining that action in your shoulders. Don't let the elbows splay out. Keep the shoulders turning back. And then we're just going to do tiny little pulses with the hips. Lift your hips up and down. Stay connected in your core. Feel like your core is helping you to lift. And then if you can lift your legs all the way up and lift the hips up, go ahead, but don't lose that action in your shoulders. And then set your knees down. So you can add that into your forearm balance practice, into your headstand, whatever it is you're practicing. And today, actually, I'm going to show a little bit of headstand preparation. And then if you feel confident going into the full thing. But that same rotation in the shoulders, space for the neck collarbones. As soon as you feel your shoulders rounding, you got to come down. Even if you're all the way up, like, I just want to stay up a little bit, I love headstand. Don't do it. It's no good for your neck. It's not good to train your shoulders like that. So I'm going to turn the shoulders just like I practiced. Head goes down. Then the knees come up, find the crown of the head. Then let's walk in and see if you can bring your knees in and find a balance point. Work the shoulder action again, and then lift the legs all the way. And then slowly in reverse, bring the knee, bend the knees. Find the balance point, and then lower all the way back down. Rest in child's. And then come back up. Okay, as promised, let's get more into the hips a little bit. So step your right foot forward, left knee down. Bring your hands onto the inside of your right foot. Turn your thigh out and start to roll onto the outside edge of the foot. If you feel that you're sinking into your chest, you could put your hands up onto blocks. Stretch from the groin towards the inner knee. Then bring your knee back to center. And then from here, bend your back knee and see if you can reach back with your hand for your foot or your ankle. And release that. One of the best hamstring stretches is Parsvottanasana, standing poses. But to start to get deeper into the hamstrings, we can take the weight off of the leg and work on this half split action. So first with the toes pointed, plantar flexed, elongate the spine as you stretch your leg. And then dorsiflex your foot. Now if you don't feel much stretch here, you could start to scoot your left knee back and go into the full splits. But otherwise, like if you're feeling like a real good amount of stretch, just work on elongating and making a flat back with the foot flexed. Bend your knee and change sides. So start off in lizard. Open your knee out to the side. Keep the lift from your middle. Bring your knee back to center. And then hold there or bend the knee and reach back with your hand for your foot. Release your foot, draw your hips back over top of your knee and slide your front foot forward. Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Then dorsiflex your foot and hold the half splits or go for full splits. Whichever one you do, keep lifting from the pelvic floor up through. Don't let the energy sink in the lower back. Then bend your knee and stretch back. All right, now I want us to get a little bit of extension of the thoracic spine. So I'm going to use a foam roller for this. I should have mentioned that you should have all this stuff at the beginning, I'm sorry. So you can use a foam roller. You can also use a ball in your upper back for this. A more crude way to do it would be over the block. It's not as nice, but it can be done. I like to have something more rounded. So I'm going to take the roller right at the bra line, then hands behind the head, and as you inhale, you'll roll your chest over. And as you exhale, curl back up. This is just going to help with the back bends. Inhale to roll the chest over. Exhale back up. One more time, inhale to roll the chest over. Now in this last one, as you hold, you could open the elbows out to the side. And then bring the elbows in and see if you could stretch the arms overhead while stretching the bottom of the ribs towards the hips. So you don't let the rib cage flare open. Bring your hands back behind your head, curl yourself up. Good, then move the roller to the side. You can move it off frame now, it's okay. Then come into a kneeling position. This is my favorite stretch right now. I love this stretch so much. So come into a Virasana position. Then take your hands a foot behind you. If it's too gnarly on your knees, you could just do this in reverse plank. You guys know reverse plank. We do that a ton already. So kind of with the index finger pointing forward, hands almost under your shoulders. Roll the chest open. And then start to lift. Lengthen through the hips out of the lower back. Reach down into the knees. And then draw from the skin of the belly up towards the chest, roll the shoulders open. Lower your butt back down. Take your hands back another inch and turn your index fingers out slightly. And then come back up. And back down. Now the last one, if you want to try this with a block in your upper back, you could walk the hands back, roll your chest open, and then lie down over the block. It's hard to get it right in the right spot, so tricky. Okay, it's pretty good. And then you can hold there. If it feels like too much on your knee or your lower back, that's usually a sign that it's too much on your knee or your lower back, and you should just come right out instead of just suffering. Good, then come back up and lie onto your belly. And bend the knees. And if possible, reach back with your hands to grab a hold of your feet. Stretch through the lower back, roll the chest forward, and then start to stretch your legs. Instead of how high up you could go, let me see how long you could get. And then if you feel like you could stretch the legs further back and further up, the body is inviting you deeper, then go ahead. But don't just push yourself into it. It should feel like you're being called deeper into the pose. Then lower yourself down. Place your hands next to your side ribs. And roll up into up dog. Stretch back into down dog. And come back into a kneeling position. Twist to the right. Twist to the left. Come to center, and then put a block underneath your butt, and let's work on a couple of these binding hip opening poses. So the first one is a variation of Marichiasan. Which one is that? D, I think. So take your right arm all the way up, and then reach along the inside of your leg. Reach, 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 reach. Internally rotate your arm and wrap the arm around your leg. And then see if you can do the same with the other arm. And release that. Change sides. So in the classic pose, this foot is in a lotus position, but we're just doing a little modified variation. Reach the arm up, and then reach, reach, reach on the inside of your knee. Internally rotate the arm, wrap the arm around. And then bind. And come back up. All right, one of the best seated hamstring stretches to start to open up for all the seated poses is Tirang Mukha Ekapada Paschimottanasana. So the left leg goes into, say that 3 times fast, left leg goes into Virasana, start to lengthen out over your right leg. And come back up. Change sides. And then come back up. I wonder if you're still with me. Is that camera still on? Yeah, we're still together? Okay, cool. So then from here, I'm going to open up for Upavista Konasana. Sit with your legs wide apart. Another great hip opener, hamstring stretch together. So the first step, see if you can put your hands in front of you. And then as you stretch from your inner legs into your feet, connect from your pelvic floor straight up towards your crown. And then see if you can start to walk the hands forward while still letting the tops of the thighs release down and away from each other. As soon as you feel them start to grip up, just pause there. Don't go faster than the hips and the hamstrings. Allow. Anybody could just round over in a heap, but we're practicing conscious movement. Good, then come back up and bring the right leg into Janu Sirsasana. Turn to face the right knee, and we're going to work on Parivrtta Janu Sirsasana today. Stretch the knee down and away from you, and then slide the left hand to the left inner leg and start to reach up and over. Then bend the elbow, slide the hand behind your head, and open up. Inhale, come back up. And change sides. Turn to face your left knee, stretch the knee down and away. Then slide your right hand towards the right inner leg. And reach up and over. Great way to open up the fascial connection between the outer hip and the armpit. Can you feel it when you do this one? And then come back up. Now, we don't often work the internal rotation if they're the hips, so we're going to do this little stretch. The left leg is at a 90-degree angle. I bring the right leg into a 90-degree angle, and also there's a 90-degree angle in between my legs. From here, sit up tall up over your pelvis. Stretch from the right groin towards the right knee. Release that and change sides. Really a good stretch if the obturator is really tight. Okay, good. So like a little pigeon variation, you could call it. Then, let's work probably one of my favorite hip openers, double pigeon. So it starts off, just work with your knees, ankle, what are these things called? Your legs cross at the middle of the shins, ankles in line with your knees. Now, if you're able to take the front leg and cross the ankle right onto the outside edge of the knee and stack the shins and then fold forward, go ahead and do that. And then, if possible, rest your forehead on a block or whatever you have and stretch your arms forward. Inhale, come back up. Change the cross of your legs and fold forward. Come back up. Then cross the knees right at the center. Oh my gosh, another amazing hip opener. Gomukhasana. Take your right hand behind your back from below and left arm from above. Bend the elbow and slide the hand. Hold here in the upright seat, or you can start to lean forward. You get a twofer. You get the shoulder stretch and you get a hip opener at the same time. Come back up and change the cross of the legs. Of all the yoga poses that there are, this is one of the 16 that got put down in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So you could guess that it's probably a pretty important yoga pose. This is out of the thousands and thousands of movements that you could do with your body. This one got chosen of 16. Hold in the upright position or start to fold forward. Get the shoulder and hip opening and feel the connection between the shoulders and the hips. Come back up. Don't you just love doing yoga? It feels so good. Both legs stretch out. And start to fold forward. Hey, lately there's been like one dude that comments on the Facebook group. I'd love to hear from you guys on the Facebook group. Leave some comments, go on there, let me know what you want to see. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing the stuff I want to do and teach you. But yeah, if there's some stuff you want to see, give me some feedback on there. I'd love to hear from you. All right, then cross your legs, and we're going to do just a few rounds of Ujjayi Pranayama. So sit up straight and tall with your nerves calm, and then make a slight constriction in the back of your throat so your breath makes sound, like you're fogging a mirror, but with your mouth closed. Let go of the breath control. Notice its effect. Then bring your palms together. Thank you. Namaste. So before it gets too dark, I'm going to leave you here to do your Shavasana on your own. Make sure to take at least 5 minutes in Course Pose. But I just want to thank you so much for being a part of this community. I hope you feel like you're getting your money's worth, like you're enjoying the content. Please interact with me on the Facebook community page. Let me know exactly what you want to see. And it's always great to connect with you and hear from you. Again, my sincere gratitude. Thanks for committing to your practice and for wanting to deepen your practice. Have a great day and take your Shavasana. I'm going to take mine now before it gets too dark.